Hello and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Milagros. This is a little space on the interweb I like to carve out to share some tips, tools, techniques, nuggets, and things like that. We are currently in a video series called Tips to Get You to a Healthier and Happier Place. That's not it. That's a long title. It's Tips to a Healthier and Happier Life. Something like that. This week, we are talking about not comparing. Stop comparing. Stop comparing. Let me back up. Theodore Roosevelt has this great quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. You want a healthier and happier life? Stop comparing. Stop comparing and making your life into a competition for things, for goals, for anything, for how you look, for how you are. When we decide to do something, make a decision because we need to beat someone else, we are not at all operating from a place of joy. We are not aligned with love. That is fear. We are rooted in fear that we are unworthy unless we beat them or better than them or whatever, right? We are unworthy unless we have the latest clothes. We are unworthy unless we have the nicest car or the better job or we make the most money or we have the better relationship or the better picture of a relationship. Let's be real, because a lot of people be fronting like their relationships are magical, and in the background, they're calling me for marital mediation. For real. So but the picture looks amazing, and everybody compares themselves to that picture. There was a pastor, I want to say, maybe it was Steve Furtick, I want to say. He said, with social media, you're always comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. That's good because that's the reality. It's what they're putting forth for the comparison. The reality is, if you're truly happy and you're truly in a great relationship and you're truly content with who you are and how you're living your life, there is no need, truly, for other people to co-sign off on your life. Because you're like, I'm good. I know who I is. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. I know where I'm headed. Da, da, da. Life is magic, right? When we're constantly in need for other people to kind of sign off and like, look at, it's perfect. Look at how pretty it is. Look at how pretty it is. That's this competitive and comparison program that we have been instilled with since birth, truly. And it has been nurtured into us over the course of our lives. There's another quote that I recently read, and it said something like, the fastest way to kill something special is to compare it to something else. And isn't that the truth? You are 1 in 8 billion humans who are currently on the planet. Roughly 8 billion. You are the only one of you that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be. The only one. Even identical twins don't share 100% of their DNA. The chance of you being born is 1 in 400 quadrillion. Trust me, look it up. 400 quadrillion. The chance of you being born is 1 in 400 quadrillion, which means that you are here on purpose. Even if your parents didn't plan it, you're still here on purpose because the chance of you being here is so near impossible that you're not a mistake. Okay. So you're the only one of you that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be, and you're here on purpose and you're this extraordinary, unique being. And yet, we tend to surrender all that magic and wonder so that we can compare ourselves to someone else. And we make decisions, we speak words, and we take actions in comparison to someone else. And then so many people say, I don't feel like my true self and I just want to live an authentic life and I just want to be my whole self and I know. And one of the best ways to build that for yourself, to cultivate that kind of life and to cultivate a life of health and happiness is by checking yourself when you find yourself in a space of comparison or competition with another human. There is no competition. When you are an original, there is no competition. There was an Adidas ad that's like, there's no competition with the original. And it's true. Like, there's no competition. Some of the greatest athletes have said, I don't compare myself to other people. I'm not even competing against the person I'm competing with. I'm competing against my old record. I'm competing against myself. I want to show up and be my best, right? I don't care what they are not doing. I'm going to be my best. And allow themselves to be inspired by other athletes, Michael Jordan said it in an interview. LeBron James said it in an interview. Serena Williams said it in an interview, right? They are the top of the top because they don't compare themselves to other people. They're just constantly practicing and speaking and thinking in a way that aligns with their greatness, and they're showing up in that space as much as possible. Now, it's not 100% and it's not infallible, but it's a practice that they're constantly living in. So what anybody else is or is not doing doesn't matter. They're going to show up and they're going to be their best. And then because they have that mentality that I'm not competing against you, that kind of stress no longer exists, right? It's a different kind of like healthy stress. That's a thing. It's called e-stress. It's a different kind of stress that exists that pushes them to be their best selves, right? So that's what I have for you for this week. When you catch yourself in thought, in word, in action, competing and comparing, remind yourself, use your affirmations and your mantras to remind yourself, I am the only one of me that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be. The chance of me being here is 1 in 400 quadrillion, which means there is no one else I can compete against. I am an original. And as long as I'm continuously showing up, evolving into that unique, authentic expression of human life, there is no competition, truly. Because it's like comparing apples and oranges. They're fruit, but they're different. It's like saying this rose and this tulip. They're flowers, but they're so different. You can't make a tulip into a rose and you can't make an apple into an orange, right? So, but we as humans, we try to do that. We try to like mold and change ourselves, and it's exhausting. And it doesn't feel congruent, and it doesn't feel authentic. And it's not because it wasn't intended to be that way. One of the best ways to find new levels of our power, of our joy, is to stop comparing ourselves. And I mean that on all levels. The money that you make, the job that you have, the relationships that you're in, how you parent, how you dress, what your hair looks like, whether or not you're on trend or off trend, right? Like, oh my God, the decisions that some people make from those places, sometimes it breaks my heart, because then, like a lot of times people reach out to me. Not a lot of times, but people reach out to me and say, I did this because I was doing this, and I'm like, oh, you were comparing against that woman. And so you saved all that money, you did that surgery, and now you're still miserable because it was never about that woman. And it was never about that enhancing or changing that body part. It was really about you learning how to love who you are and not comparing yourself to her, so that you can find your freedom in your way. Right? And I'll tell you, the media and marketing and businesses will try to tell you that you are not good enough, and you are not worthy, and you are not deserving, and that you are not valuable unless you buy these products, do these things, have these surgeries, look like this, act like this, drive this car, do blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's too much, for real. So we then have to take responsibility. They are not going to change. Why would they? They're making billions of dollars doing that. So why would they? Seriously. So instead, we have to start making some healthier decisions for ourselves, right? We have to start catching ourselves in our thoughts and then flipping those, using our words literally to flip those thoughts and like, no, I am deserving, and I am worthy, and I am good enough. And you know what? My boobs might not be as big as hers, but they don't need to be. And my butt might not be as round and lifted as hers, but it doesn't need to be. And my stomach might not be as flat as hers, but it doesn't need to be. And my hair might not look like that, or my body, or my husband, or my but I am enough. My life is enough. And then when I find the spaces of appreciation in what I have and in who I am enough. And then I elevate my own freedom, and all of that just becomes background noise. It literally just becomes background noise. And sometimes we can get to a place where it actually fades away, right? So next level health and happiness, stop comparing. And if you need help, if you need support, I'm a coach and I'm good at my job. Holla! Check out my website, www.mariamilagros.net/life coach. And you can read more about the services and stuff that I offer. And, let me guide you through that part to get to a place where you can fully live your life from that genuine, authentic, loving place, because you are deserving and worthy already. You are enough already. You are valuable already. You are worthy already. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Do not kill the very special thing that is you by comparing it to something else. That's all I have. I love you so much. Sending you all the love. Sending you all the love and light and ease and peace and enoughness. I'll see you next week. Peace!